This is Mark Tobias and Tobias Bluesmanis. We're going to talk about Saferlock. This is another prescription drug bottle that's got a 4-digit combination lock on it.
Yeah.
We found some problems with this. First of all, I interviewed one of the co-founders of this company who's done a lot of work in this area. This emanated from 2 college kids in a dorm room. There was a drug abuse problem in one of the families, so they decided to invent this. Actually, it's very clever. It's a bottle cap with a 4-digit combination lock, better than the 3 digits that we've looked at in other products.
Yeah, this has more combinations.
The problem is that I was told that if you didn't have the right combination, you're really not going to open this lock. That's not exactly true. We've looked, they make a box with this cap. This will work on a variety of different bottles with the same diameter. It's a clever design. But there's several problems. Let's talk about very briefly how this works. Basically, it's a free spinning cap until the right combination is dialed.
Well, we got here the right combination, but if we scramble that.
Yep. So theoretically, you cannot open it.
Yep.
Now, one of the things we might say is, if you really want to make this work, you want to super tighten these down.
Oh, yeah.
If you super tighten it down, it really changes the security metrics of this container.
Well, so not all people.
But if they don't have the strength,
right,
that's a problem. So if you just lightly wrist tighten it, they're a lot easier to open.
Yes.
So how this works, it's actually very clever. This is a 3-piece cap. This is really the cap. If you can see that, and it's got 4 protruding pieces of plastic that lock into a protruding block that's controlled by the correct dialing of the combination. When all of the wheels are correctly set, this little block protrudes. That protrudes and it catches, and this can turn. The minute one of those combination wheels is not correct, this little block retracts, and this is free spinning. So right now,
it's free spinning.
here, let's make that in focus. This is free spinning
Until that block
comes out. There's a cap that goes, and this is ultrasonically welded. So if you try to damage this, this will break. This will all come into pieces. Okay. So with the right combination, this will be blocked. So the grooves can turn into the bottle. This will work the way any cap works. Okay. So the problem, we've identified a couple problems. One is the reset mechanism on the wheel pack. If you take a very fine jeweler's screwdriver, for example, which is what I did in tests, and you force the reset mechanism forward, which you have to do to move all the wheels to change the number relationship, you can break that. If you break it, there's a piece that will drop down, act as basically simulate that block, catch,
it jams
you open the cap, and it'll open on any combination then.
Yeah, but definitely you can notice that.
But then you'd notice that.
Yeah,
that's not the big problem.
So, but we have to mention that.
We have to mention it. The real problem that we found, this block, which is actually a clever design, relies on the 4 wheels of the combination lock.
Let me just put it in focus there. So the cap comes with the combination 0, 0, 0, 0. Engages, we can open it.
Yep.
And let's just lock it. Release it.
And let's show that it can't be locked and it can't be pried off.
Well, as you mentioned, the first thing that you mentioned, everything depends how tight, how much you tie the cap. I already scrambled the combination. Let's see because if we push down really hard, some of them, and depending, can open. In this case,
it's okay.
It's okay. Well, yes, it's okay.
It's
Probably
okay.
I tied it enough to, and that's the idea.
That's
so
the idea.
You have to work the.
But if you tighten it way too tight, you're liable to break the ultrasonic welds. So normal tightening, okay. So again, the problem is if we depress all of these wheels,
we're gonna change the relationship between that blocking.
You're going to move that block.
Yeah.
And if you move that block to a protruded position, then you're going to open the cap.
One way that we did it was putting the cap, this portion of the cap against like a corner of the
countertop. Yeah.
Pushing everything so we can really push the front of the cap.
Yep.
And that makes that pin extend in that sense to catch the cap.
Yep. This is brand new in the new package again, and we're going to put pressure on all of the 4 combination wheels. You see how those all protrude? I'm not sure you can see that. All of these wheels are protruding slightly above the surface. So
for you to be able to change
so it's easy to move them. So this is all set on 0000. So again, it's a clever design. So you don't want to over tighten this.
Well, that's one issue that we have from the beginning. If we don't,
if you normal tighten,
but I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
But, you don't. And a lot of people don't have enough strength in their hand to really tighten it.
So let's go first. Is that locked?
Yeah.
If we move the combination, it's free spinning.
Yeah.
But if we put enough pressure,
it's open.
Okay. So what I did at the beginning was not tight
enough. Yep. But you don't want to torque it to the point that you break it either, because there are some ultrasonic welds, as we noted, that you could theoretically break it.
So let me tighten it again. Let me just put the combination there. 0, 0, 0.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but don't go crazy.
No, I'm never crazy.
No.
Okay, let's
so
see.
Now, wait a minute, it's free, so it's free spinning, it's locked, okay?
Let's see now. No.
Okay, so that's the way that should work. Now, again, as we noted, the problem is that the same locking mechanism can be used against itself. And that's the problem, because all of these wheels together are linked to that little block that we showed you. And if you depress all these wheels at the same time and put torque, that block is going to allow you to open the container.
We did this like in the corner of the counter.
Yeah.
You know, that we can just press this portion of the wheels. Can depress it and open.
Yep.
For the demonstration, we use the block here.
Yep.
I have just some block.
Just a metal block.
Let me be sure that I cannot open it again. Like. No. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's no friction. Right. We're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. The way that we opened it before, it was creating so much friction between the cap and the combination assembly that we were able to grab and open.
That's correct.
Now what we're gonna do is just depress the combinations in order
to
for
move that block to come forward, in order to engage with the little protrusions that we showed you earlier. And it's open.
Okay, so the question is again, how much do we need to tie this? The problem with this one is that actually we are depressing that pin.
Yeah.
So the pin is engaging. It doesn't matter. In some tests that we did,
you can't depress it enough, so it'll go click, 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 because it's overriding the little plastic, the 4 plastic protrusions in the cap. If you get it far enough, you'll open it.
Let me just lock it again for a moment, and let's try another way. And again, how tight is too tight?
Yeah. Okay.
And again, I probably won't be able to.
Which is the way it should work. Okay.
Let's now use a small screwdriver and try to replicate what we did before, which is pushing down on the wheels. And I just need
See,
it.
now you could hear that click, and it's open.
Okay.
So again, to summarize for this attack, all of these wheels, it's a very clever design, but all of these wheels are linked to the little protruding tab that allows us to be free spinning or locked. And I'm sure they never contemplated that problem when they designed this. It's a clever design. The problem is, it's from the security standpoint, it's not clever at all.
Now let's see it as the consumer. If I'm the owner of this bottle, depending, like in this one, it doesn't seem like too much of change. The whole wheel pack drops a little bit. Yeah, it lowers. You can see that, you can feel that. Okay, but I don't know if the user
Not going to see it.
gonna see it or gonna
Not going to see it.
relate that to, you know, abuse on the drugs.
No. So let's go to the final real problem to open this. Remember we talked about friction. And the way that this system works, again, is that there's a little block. I don't know if you can see it now. It protrudes to catch these 4 pieces of plastic that protrude, okay? So right now, that's caught, so you could lock this down, okay?
Yep.
If you simulate the same problem, the same circumstance with friction, so that there's friction or a material between this and this to make this not free spinning, you're going to open it. The way we're going to do that,
like what we do with regular bottle caps. You know, when you don't have the grip, you need assistance. So what we need here is a material that allows us to assist the friction in order to open the bottle.
what's the answer?
I don't know. You tell me.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Sugar, salt. But sugar we found is very good because sugar is soluble in water. So that when we drop sugar down the combination lock, the little gaps, which they have to have for clearance, we can pour enough sugar in there to create a bind. We open it, then we put it in water. The sugar dissolves away, dries, you'll never know it. So let's do that, Toby.
Well, do you want a new one?
Yeah, let's do a new one.
Okay, can you open that one, please?
And we'd like to thank the manufacturer for supplying all these. Saferlock was very generous in supplying test samples.
No, in favor of the manufacturer. You know, I think the quality.
Yeah.
You can see quality in what is built. You know.
Yeah.
I think they have to work a little bit more, but adding another combination is a way to.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just. Oh, this one is not setting 00. Oh, 001. Okay. Anyway, it's locked.
No, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's for some reason it's more on the one.
Unless I caught it.
Well, again, I think that's what a normal person will do. And anyway, this is coming this, and let me be sure that I can know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sugar. I'm gonna do this like that. So we just have to have those get into, and we're gonna notice actually.
So just like Julia Childs of Locks. Just don't add butter.
Well, I would not recommend this to be used in like in the beach because sand, you know.
Sand will do the same thing, but it won't come out.
Okay, so now you can see how
you hear it.
Okay. Now, the thing is, we can just drop this in water.
Yep. Dissolve it, let it dry out,
Yeah.
and you'll never know it.
Yeah.
So, again, I think of all the designs that we looked at,
This is
probably the most clever, first of all.
what I see. They really went into the steps of design something new.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones are a small briefcase for bottle pills.
But they all rely on really inexpensive, not secure
Yeah.
combination lock.
That is correct.
And that's the problem. It has nothing to do with the container.
No.
And so, frankly, of the three that we looked at, I would try, if this is tightened down,
Yeah.
other than the sugar problem,
Salt also will work.
any abrasive,
Yeah.
you could hear it immediately. This is a really slick idea. But, as you can see, any kid could do this. And that's a problem. As long as they have the strength to turn it. But, you know, you could hear it the minute we put sugar in it.
If you have substance problems, abuse, I will be concerned about that.
Yeah.
You actually, either that or you're going to have to buy a real safe.
A real safe, that's correct. Because these aren't safes.
No, they're just containers with limit that limits the access.
Yeah, and I think these sell for about $10 a piece.
Yeah, I don't know the other ones.
We don't get into that, but there's nothing secure in a $10 container.
Unfortunately,
we did this a few years ago with an RX safe. Same problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same problem. And so that's our analysis. We hope it helps. And any comments, we welcome. This is Mark Tobias and Tobias Bluesmanis. Thank you.
Thank you.